All right, so you may have heard wine in moderation is said to have benefits for the heart, and now one local winery is helping save the hearts of local children. Here to explain is Ryan Levy, the owner of Nice Wines, Anne Garcia of OpHeart, her daughter Ariana, and Dr. Jorge Salazar, the chief of Pediatric and Congenital Heart Surgery at Children's Memorial Hermann. Good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
All right, just the fact that your wines are called Nice Wines, where did that come from?
Nice is an acronym, so Ian, the other winemaker, and we came up with a name, and it's the first letters of his siblings, Natalie, Ian, Cindy. My name's Ryan, so you slap an R on the end, you get nicer.
Yeah.
And yeah, everybody likes a nice bottle of wine, right?
But you know what we also like is that if we're going to spend money doing something anyway, it's really cool how many products we're seeing now that benefit something else. And that's the case with this particular wine right here. Tell us what we have.
Yeah, so this is a wine that we make to benefit OpHeart. And Anne Garcia is here to tell you a little bit more about OpHeart. But this is a mix of two different grapes, Grenache, Blanc, and Viognier, and really fresh, clean, beautiful wine. And all the proceeds from the wine benefit OpHeart and improving the outcomes for surgeries for children with congenital heart defects.
And OpHeart came about with you because why?
My daughter Ariana was born in June of 2014, and at about 6 weeks old, she stopped breathing, just to put it simply. We ended up in the emergency room with her, and at that point discovered that she had been born with a life-threatening heart defect. She ended up being in the ICU for 12 weeks, had 2 open heart surgeries, and in the process I realized that there was an opportunity to do better by kids like her using new technologies.
Yeah. And let me stop you right there for a second, because Dr. Salazar, we think of kids, oftentimes people don't think of them as having heart disease, but it's from a different reason. Congenital heart disease, of course, one of the biggest things. Up until fairly recent times, what did these kids face with those disorders?
Well, very few people realize that 1% of all kids born have a congenital heart defect. And up until recently, many of those children really did not have a lot of hope. And so now, with technology offered by OpHeart and others, we're able to actually tackle these defects and give the children and the parents an opportunity for a normal life.
Yeah, all right. So what is it that you did with OpHeart? You said to support these types of therapies. What are we talking about?
Basically, about 40,000 kids are born in the United States every year with a congenital heart defect. Half of them are going to require some sort of intervention in the early days in order to survive. And we try to help surgeons like Dr. Salazar perform their peak in the OR by giving them tools that allow them to better plan for and even practice surgeries before they go into the OR.
Yeah. And Dr. Salazar, I think a lot of people think that in medicine it's all done for you, it's all there. How important are these private ventures like this for you all as doctors to be able to do your job?
Well, it's extremely important, and I think that these types of ventures that are deeply personal also are the most successful. Kids are born with what I like to explain to the families as a scrambled heart. And for us to be able to unscramble the heart for a little tiny heart this size is very challenging. So we have to be able to understand the inside of the heart intimately and very intricately to be able to deliver this kind of an outcome.
And this is like one of the models that we're talking about.
This is an example of a child that we operated on recently who had, as you can see, well, maybe it'd be hard to see, but as you can see, the heart is scrambled. It's aiming to the wrong side, half of the heart is missing, and we were able to take this child and instead of allowing them to be doomed essentially to having a failing heart, we were able to convert everything over so it could be a normal heart.
Yeah. And Ariana wouldn't be sitting here today if you didn't have these surgeons who could be able to do certain things, right?
Oh, absolutely. And the strides that pediatric cardiac care has made in the last 10, 20 years is astounding. These kids, Ari would have 20, 30 years ago, she would have been dead, in all honesty. And we saw in the ICU, we saw 2 mothers who held their babies for the last time. And so that, every time I think about the fact that I have a healthy daughter here next to me, I know that the story doesn't end the same way, and that's what motivates me to try to help surgeons like Dr. Salazar save those babies' lives.
And Dr. Salazar is another gift that we have in this city, right?
Absolutely.
Because we can't take for granted what kind of health care we have available here in this city.
No, and honestly, Dr. Salazar is only one of a handful of surgeons in the entire United States that are performing this particular type of surgery, where most surgeons would look at it and say it's a single ventricle solution, which means a life that's going to be tethered to a hospital bed and probably end prematurely.
No quality of life.
Quality of life is gone, but then also the amount of time. And with the surgeries he's doing, he's making kids that look like Ari. At the end of the day, she's going to, live a normal, healthy life. And we are lucky in Houston to have him here straight from Boston Children's to do this.
We're also lucky in Houston that we have such a philanthropic heart in the city.
Absolutely.
And we see how people shuck and jive and how we get together and make things happen. You two knew each other before and then made this happen. So how did you two know each other before?
Yeah, we went to Rice together. Yeah. We were in the same residential college at Rice. And afterwards, 20 years later, we met up again, and I learned that Annie was working on OpHeart, and I was making wine. And we thought, how can we make wine to support a great cause here in Houston?
And I'm going to bias, but cases and cases, because I want to help the cause, right? And speaking of helping the cause, we have a presentation over here for OpHeart.
So we've raised some money for OpHeart, and I wanted to give Annie a check for OpHeart so that we can print more 3D hearts.
Well, I appreciate
and print that check for $15,000
I will.
right there.
I'm running down to Chase right now.
Right. And I want to see you put it through right? Let me just say thank you all very much for making strides every day, which means that we have lives like this that are saved, and so she can grow up and be happy and healthy. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. And the holidays are coming up, so you got to stock up on the wine and do something
nice wine.
The wine's available at nicewines.com.
All right, and you can find the Ariana charity wine at the Nice Wines website. 30% of the purchase price goes to OpHeart, or you can donate directly to OpHeart at opheart.org. I got to tell you, this is really good too. Love it.